Switch that V6 for the Iffy. Ride it around my city. You should come ride with me, yeah. Feel me if you hear me sip. Water like a fish sip. Box water to the gillies, yeah. This a new wave, this a takeover. Do it for the future, time to get a world a makeover. Time never stops, no the timing is not. Time to clean up the block. Streets been a mess, how can I breathe? Smoke in the air, pure gasoline. I see the news, see what you read. Change gotta come, put that on me and watch me educate. Yeah, we been, could've started, but it's never late. Do it for my kids, yeah, let's set it straight. Do it for your kids, gotta set it straight. It's time to regulate, we need change now. We need solar, we need Iffy in the game now. Make it changes so the earth we know can stay around. Make it change cause we had no time for playing around. Let's quit the playing around. First rule to me, let's keep it clean. Watch how we build, clean air we need. Start from the flow, sweep up the scene. We going green, work as a team. First rule to me, let's keep it clean. Watch how we build, clean air we need. Start from the flow, sweep up the scene. We going green, we going green. New car goes zoom, but it's quiet. You can hear me.
Hey, Kimmy, baby, I had a book over here in this drawer. You seen it?
You mean a little black book? Oh, honey, I cleaned out those drawers in that whole room and made a big donation to Goodwill. But don't worry, we can get you another one.
Oh, hell no. You're never going to believe what happened to me today at the Goodwill. I found a book of seed phrases, honey. I can get those hair transplants now. Oh.
Go best friend. That's my best friend. Go best friend. That's my best friend. That's my best friend. Go best friend.
Welcome everyone to the midday crypto charts with Road Dogg. My name is Lane. I am your crypto Road Dogg, helping to navigate you on this crazy journey to financial freedom for those of us in the market right now. With due diligence and perseverance, we have that opportunity to make that life-changing money, change our lives, lifts our families up, get out of this corporate slavery rat race that we have been in through crypto. And if you're in the game here, you are the OG, the fearless one, and I salute you. Guys, we have a crazy weekend for Bitcoin. Surprising move over the weekend, starting Sunday when CMEs came back into the picture, pushing us to the upside. And then today, as Powell spoke, oh, wrong one right there. Must have got rid of the article. When Powell spoke today, things just kind of dropped a little bit. Fell below 28,000 that we just fought so hard to get, right? Oh. And you thought Wall Street was stable. No, they have paper hands, baby. Get used to it. You will see a lot of that. So currently we're looking at Bitcoin over here. Nice pump up, right? Broke out of this trend line that we had. I had it pegged more as a bullish megaphone pattern, a broadening pattern, a descendant broadening pattern, if you want to get technical. Broke to the upside, very positive sign. We were looking for the possibility of that to happen, and there it went. It did. Nice pump up to this area, 28,581. Awesome. Now, currently we're pulling back, and some people are calling, oh, it's over. Short the market was kind of risky to short here, if you want my personal opinion. Now, this pattern does have a tendency for a retest of the breakout area. Now, that breakout area is all the way down like 27,200. Can we go back there? Of course we can. Will we? I can't tell you. We just have to watch the charts to make sure. What I can tell you right now is that the most recent pattern that we had, like we can have larger patterns, then we can have smaller patterns that develop within them to also give us clues about what's happening. Now, this one was a rising wedge, which normally breaks to the downside, right? And looking at was looking at the real possibility in 27,100, 27,200, getting rejected there. just because of this pattern, which did not happen. We found support there, busted out. Not only that, we broke to the upside, which is a good indicator for parabolic movement. So the way that I interpret this is that as long as this top trend line right here holds, which it is, there's actually a moving average there on the smaller time frame that we're looking at. But if this can hold, we got possibly a very strong move coming out of Bitcoin. And some people see this and some people do not. Now there is a nice big wick here on Bitcoin that could be a reversal sign. So looking on the 4 hour, the indicators are definitely saying that we need a correction, need a pullback. And like I said, that normally that's fine. That's standard. So this trend line here, I'm going to put dotted so that we can make it a secondary one. Both of these really. It's this main trend line right here, this white one that we've got to look at. That's where we could actually come back to. And our moving averages on the 1 hour will give us clues to that. We lost the 21 moving average. We're trying to keep it. We're trying to hold on to it right there. If we cannot, if this 9 moving average crosses over that 21, well, we can definitely expect these lower areas to come into play. But right now in the smaller time frames, this area is holding. Now this current area that we're looking at right now, coming to the 15-minute, and if you've been watching this on smaller time frames, perhaps you have been feeling bullish, and perhaps that did give you the idea of the short. And you know, I did short up here. I'm in a short also right now in profit, but I'm looking at this area right here that might be as far as we go, where we wick down to. We may come back down there and retest that, kind of solidify these areas. But if we do lose that, do look for a retest of this more bottom trend line here. Let me get this one and put that one to a dotted line. It's this big old thick white one that we really got to worry about right here. Need to make that just a little bit bigger so it stands out more. That's the guy. That's the one that we broke out of. So a little bit of a pullback and may very well come back down there. So altcoins, they have been just a little bit decimated. Need to take a look at some of these altcoins today. Looking at the top 100 right here, we can see what we got going on now. We're starting to turn around a little bit. Wasn't all in the red there on the daily. I mean, what is going on? We got to look at our indices, and we got them pulled up all nice and neat here. This is Bitcoin dominance, which has been going up over the last several candles on the 4 hour. So for the last day and a half, we've been pumping up there. The dollar itself has also been pumping up, and Bitcoin pumped up. Now, usually when you see the dollar and Bitcoin pump up, that doesn't last long. And a lot of times, my personal observations that I've seen it go up for maybe a day or two, and then Bitcoin will fall off and dump. Are we looking at that scenario with Bitcoin? Possibly. We'll get back to Bitcoin in a second on the larger time frame and look at the resistance area that we are at. But we can see right now that money has been coming out of Tether. That's this bottom short. This is the Tether dominance. This is how the percentage of people in stablecoin has been declining over the past couple of days, and our altcoins have been going up. It's just in the past 8 hours, they've been selling off. People have been taking profits, and that's fine. Now, currently, we're still basically in trend. As long as we don't break that, we might get another bump in our altcoins, another push up. But really all depends. a good way to check for your altcoins is actually watching Tether dominance here. And as it pumps up, we could see things suffer. More attention is being turned a little bit toward Bitcoin right now. So bumping up just one more time on Bitcoin here. On the 4 hour, I have this moving average right here that we're finding resistance on. You can actually see it come in and play more, I guess, prominent on the daily chart. So if you look at it on the daily chart, you can see that we got above our 9 moving average, just looking lovely. Finding some rejection not only on the 200 but the 100. When we lose the 50, which we did right down here, or get above it, our next one to target is the 100, which is where we came up to 28,240. Wicked up a little bit above. We got to 28.5. That was actually a nice short squeeze there, opening up some liquidity for us. Draw your attention to this dark red moving average right here. That one is the Lucy moving average, which comes into play. You got a kind of a double wall of resistance right here with the 100 and the 666 moving average right there. So that's where we're finding our resistances, is this little juicy little zone right here. And we move that down. So could this be a short area? Possibly, but remember we did wick all the way up here. Depending on the leverage you use, if you are using leverage, you just have to be cautious. Currently on the smaller time frames, you know, we are still coming down probably to retest this 100 moving average on the 15-minute. That's about 27,874. Keep that in mind. If we do find a bounce there, maybe we'll come back up. What I'm looking for is a possible retest of 28,208. Normally how you will see price action play out here. It's coming down, price will come down and then come back up. And what we call this is a bearish retest. Come up to the breakout area, either at the price or to the trend line that we broke down from. And then more likely, maybe come down further. Now keep in mind on the shorter term time frame that this is a bearish pattern. And we did get rejected from that. That's why I'm saying this is a tricky area. It's a tricky area to even to short. I mean, it took it a while for it to actually take its drop here and lose this trend line. So if you are trying to short, this little box we got here is, in my opinion, a good area to try. And taking this retest up here to either add to your short or open one if you missed shorting this. If you're into shorting this. Now, you don't have to be a day trader, a leverage trader. You can be a swing trader. And this might be a decent area to take profits, although, you know, I'll be honest with you. When it comes to me and spot with Bitcoin, at this point in the game, I'm not interested in selling at all. I want every Satoshi that I can get my hands on because I know the game that the big guys are playing and it's accumulation. There's a limited supply of this. It gets even more limited. Right now, the miners need to make profit and cover some costs that they have, and they're not going to sell at a loss. They like to hoard these things when price is not at an area that's profitable for them. They'll hoard it, which means that there's less Bitcoin for the big guys to go after, which means that there's just more games for them to play to drive prices down lower. So I don't take a chance on selling. Sometimes if I find the right platform, I can look at leveraging with spot margin. I just don't have a place to do that right now. So the question is now, will we find support here at the 100? Maybe we could, but then that would be a bearish retest situation. I am looking for us to come and retest this, at least this 200 and maybe to the breakout area on Bitcoin. Strega likes tacos. Tacos, tacos, tacos. Muchos tacos. Glad to have you, sir, Strega. So that's basically what I've got for Bitcoin. And the biggest thing I'm looking at again is just seeing how we do on this trend line. Right now we're finding support, but if we lose this little trend line here, we break back into this pattern and that could drive us down. But at least maybe a retest of the bigger pattern that we're on. That's kind of typical. And that's around 27,200. So jumping into a few little altcoins, there are a few that are popping off, but a lot of them that we've been tracking here have been staying kind of in the red just a little bit. Now PancakeSwap has been popping off. It went on a little bit of a parabolic run there. That's actually an interesting sign. Smaller time frame than I'm on here, but let's take a look at the move. Same thing that I preached, and we're at the point in the market we may start seeing some of this. It won't be the only time, but it's nice when you do see it, when you see a bearish pattern expecting it to break, you know, they break to the downside, but when they don't do it, they come up parabolic. Keep that in mind. Things don't go as planned like they want to with these patterns, with these rising wedges and rising channels, and even rising megaphones. If you see them go to the upside, breakout, especially if they do a retest of that area, man, that's your buy signal. That's like jump in and enjoy the ride because they will pump. Exactly what we got here. It looks huge on the 15-minute. It is only a 5-cent increase. But that's a good sign for some more upside and our reversal. Now we got a higher high on PancakeSwap. So it was down to about $1.13. It got decimated, but now we're coming back up to these areas, trying to regain the $1.25 area. It may struggle, but we have flipped this area right here, 122, into support. So PancakeSwap is looking a little juicy at the moment. Take a look at Time, Chronotech. That one's been big on their channel. This is more of an accumulation play for me. I am not trying to trade this baby. There's a very limited supply of this, meaning that when this thing actually does pump, that limited supply will mean a big pump. It's kind of in a, if I had to look, or we do have to look, the overall pattern that I've got this in is it's really a neutral megaphone pattern. But this neutral megaphone pattern also has a 60% chance to break out to the upside, meaning that price we get all the way up here to $27 and then break out. Then we got to measure move for some higher prices, basically taking us up in these areas of 42 to 48 on up to $50 here. $50 will be an area to keep in mind, as we've got this little area right here that is now resistance, and also this area at 38. So those are the two areas we got to keep an eye on with Time. But she's getting ready, in my personal opinion, to possibly start making some moves here. I want to take a look on the daily just to take a look at our moving averages. So Time has been struggling with staying on top of the 9 moving average on the daily. We've got it back right now. Those moving averages are in order above the 21 and the 50. So daily is looking promising. The 4 hour, I think, is where it's really starting to look juicy as these moving averages line up and in their orders, and then we'll start fanning out. And I can see a pump for Time. Now we might just wick up. It likes to do that every once in a while, wick up and then come back down. So there might be one of those coming into play. And maybe it'll go 15, 16, but this one's a long-term hold for me, and I am looking forward for those juicy highs, because this guy got into the hundreds of dollars, I believe. If we go back up and go back in time here, no pun on words. $206 is where we spiked in November last year. Can we make a comeback? Well, it will have to be quite a comeback and get over those areas that we're looking at. And additionally to that, there is also this little area about 137. How would you guys like to have problems at 137? You guys are in it right now. Been accumulating this the smart way. Painfully just collecting and watching your bags go up and down, mostly just slowly draining until they don't. Until they start doubling and tripling and quadrupling. Patience is the key for the spot trader right now in this market. Strega says, looking like a lot of things are gainers. Bitcoin trying to hold the 28. I hope it does. I'd like to see Bitcoin go up to 29, maybe flirt with 30. So a few of the altcoins seem to be gaining. Unibot is gaining. That's one of my personals. Do I have it against the dollar here? I trade this against Ethereum and also against the dollar over here on MEXC. Links in the description below if you are looking for a great place to find some low cap crypto gems to get into. MEXC does have a huge selection of that. Nice spot platform, nice futures platform. I like the platform. You do need multiple exchanges. even multiple accounts on those exchanges. If you do use my link, it does help to support the channel. If you like what you see here, consider that. No pressure. Any of the exchanges that we do use, Fairdesk, Bitmart, BitUnix. So looking at Unibot here, possible, it's not really confirmed. I'm on the daily here, but it looks like we're trying to break above this trend line. That's not really official until we get a candle close above there. But she's been in my juicy buy zone, and now she's pumping out of my juicy buy zone. And on the 4 hour, she's really trying to reclaim this 200 moving average. Currently getting rejected there, bouncing between it and the 9. We're trying to do something. Now, it is in a rising channel. It looked like it might have the possibility to go parabolic, but then we lost that 200, and now we're kind of flirting with coming back into this pattern. We've already worked back into it. It may take this one a while, but it is looking promising for possibly some more upside there. Now I do have some targets here for Unibot. So a safe way to get in on this, it would be to wait till we get a candle confirmation above this trend line. And the gains could take us up to $137, even up here to this great sell zone, about 249. Sounds like it's crazy, right? But it was there just a couple of months ago. Limited supply of Unibot available, and it is a Telegram bot. Allows you to trade Uniswap through the Telegram app. I think it gives you some extra options like using stop losses and things like that, doing limit orders instead of just always having to swap. Kind of an interesting bot that's been, it's got a use case. It's got people that would definitely use it. I just like this one for a long-term hold. I'm not actually using the platform, but I know a lot of other people are. So to me, that gives this one a good possibility to go into demand. Because I think to unlock some of the things, you need at least 10 of these guys, right? Taking a look at ORI chain. This one's been decimated a little bit. Got down as far as 165. Ouch, it did. It sure got to push down. But remember, this one was up to $12 there. That's a big drop, but that can also be a big, big come out. Currently, we're breaking above our trend line. Been doing this for a little while now. Several weeks. Got it break out with volume. That is valid. Now the current trajectory, the current trajectory that we were on, we did lose that trend line, but we're riding underneath it. So it's kind of like we're dropping down a level, but still trying to go up. Still trying to. We could possibly come down to these areas, and Wood 92. That could happen. It might be a possibility of a head and shoulders forming there. So that's something to keep on your radar. As if we come back to meet this area, 205, can't get above that. Yeah, definitely. We got a measured move that we can take there out. Do the little cheater. Do it with the brush tool. Could be looking at 182 again out of that if we do go to a little bit to the downside. So keep that possibility in mind. Our other option would be that we just kind of keep on trailing up, and maybe we recover this trend line, or maybe we just keep on riding underneath it. Striga says gas fees are going up some on Ethereum. Did we look? We haven't looked at Ethereum today, have we? Or did we? I don't think we have. 1683. This is on the 6 hour chart. Let's move down to the 4 hour. Okay, that daytime sleepiness is coming over me. Did not get my American Ace, and if you get that reference, well. So I got some bearish divergence here that is playing out on Ethereum, but we're still good until we break this trend line, and we can come down to 1651. That would be retesting 50 moving average. I think that's likely. That does kind of put us into this bearish pattern, which could apparently drop us down. But listen, everything on the moving averages are going to the upside. So I like that. I'm not seeing anything overly negative here on the bigger time frames. That would be just more of a, you know, coming back to the breakout. And that can definitely happen with this pattern. This is more of a, you could look at this as a triangle. Gosh, I got the yawn stick, which I hate. I don't trust in triangles, but if you follow your trend lines there, you got a following channel, which does break up to the upside, has a 64% chance to come back, retest this trend line about 1632, thereabouts in that area. So if it does, don't totally freak out. It's not the end of the world. Zooming out on the bigger time frame, remember it is still in a bullish pattern. It usually finds a point of decline. Gosh, time for coffee. And it looks like we found that area right here at 1629. So a partial decline that kind of catches, and then we come up to the top of the pattern. This pattern actually has a good chance to break to the upside. If I remember correctly, it's about a 70% chance. So possibly got that going on with Ethereum, but it'll just take time to play that out. That's too yawn. Yawn one more time and you're in danger. It's coming. All right, so mostly what I'm seeing, I'm flipping. You can't see it because I've got these ads over here. But most of the altcoins are down. Sin did actually get a bump up today. This is one that we cover on our channel. Probably need to take just a whole new look at this little guy. Was in the juicy buy zone that I had for it. I think I just want to get rid of this guy. Although that guy is very valid, may not want to get rid of him. That's where we're finding resistance. Oh, here we go. So you can't see it with my filter on, but when I yawn, my eyes water. Remember when I was little and I'd be in church or a teenager in church and that would happen? And you go to one of those churches where they just want to come and start praying with you if they think you're crying and stuff. Yeah, that was a wild experience. Well, I really didn't do anything wrong this time. So here we go, finding support here. 0023 on Sinverse. I do like this one, still think it can come up to the top of this channel, and that's a 44% increase from where we are right now. Just got to see it gain above this 200 moving average, which it has done on the 4 hour. So things are starting to look up for Sinverse. I do want to point out the 100 moving average is also above the 200, so that's like a magnet to keep us elevated. It's like putting a little helium in our balloon to help us float up to the top a little bit more. So I'm seeing a turnaround for Sinverse, and this is actually one of my longer term holds here at a juicy price point, 0025. Now, I don't know when they're going to have their next land sale. This is a very wild, like a GT Grand Theft Auto type game. Blockchain, it's wild. And I had fun making the videos on it because I went all Pulp Fiction on them. But it's starting to look good on the 4 hour, so that's interesting. What else is pumping today that might be of interest to us? On my personal list, those are the biggest ones other than CSIX to ETH. And I'm sure to dollars too. That one's also pumping. That looks nice. That looks really nice, actually. And since the KuCoin migration, I'm not even in this one. How many yawns can we get from one Tootsie Pop? Not the greatest trend line. I mean, it's valid. It's definitely valid, but it's just weird when you got all this gap in there, right? It's weird when you can't get your trend lines to go through the right thickness that you want. There we go. They're a little too overpowering for me. So CSIX is looking nice to me, actually, on the daily. seems like it likes to spike up there just a little bit every once in a while, which is like quick profits if you ever set limit up orders up, make a quick 60%. Can't argue about that. So 4 hour is looking nice above the 9 moving averages. So that one looks nice and healthy. How far can it go? Oh, well, I don't think it's going to meet the measure move that we've had on that anytime soon. Can take this one and give us a guesstimation that she may want to come up to 0.000020349. Currently sitting at 0.000012676. And that could be a nice 64% gain. Will it happen quick? Will it take a while? Well, who knows? So we looked at Pancake Swap. It's and Astra is also popping off like crazy. This one has been. I've got some of this. This one has been a very interesting coin. And she does seem to pop up, but then she also likes to drop a little bit. So it looks like we got a falling wedge breaking to the upside. 0.0076 would be the area I'd be looking for Astra. It has got a lot of work to do currently. It's getting rejected off the 366 moving average right there. So it needs to play a little ping pong, get above that, and then maybe go up there. But there could be a retest of this area at 0.003241. So still got some work to do on Astra, but nice gains today, 35% up today. So if you were looking at this breakout and take advantage of that, you played it nicely. Because it pumped up 58%. Can't complain about that. Someone save the road dog. Got a stack of books to read. Peppy community rejected. Peppy die again. Peppy seems she got rejected, not even making it up to the 200. Round and shape looks interesting. I don't know what's going to go on with this, but I'd take this as like a rounding accumulation. Actually, it looks like one of these guys that would stretch on out. Because you can see this happen. Actually, this is one of the key signs to look for in these rounding bottoms, is that sometimes they'll come up, and to me it looks like a butt cheek crack. It looks like Bart Simpson's butt, probably because it's yellow. I might be seeing something like that, or who knows, it may just find its ground and start pumping to the upside. But this indicates some accumulation, slow rounding. I don't know, maybe there's some whales out there trying to get the Peppy community on the down low. But it does look like she does want to come down just a little bit. And Strega does not look happy about it. Here's one that I've been keeping my eye on and dipping my fingers into a little bit, even though it got up to $69. This is one that I don't want to let get by me, because I know it can do big things. It's Aave. Currently, it is also in technically a bullish pattern. This has about like a 70% chance to break to the upside. Found this partial decline here, double bottom here, around $50. Getting around 62. Nice, and that's where I tried to snag just a little bit extra to add to my bigger bags and play this one for a longer term play on my, I guess it's more of a position trade than a swing trade. More of a hodl bag on this one. Now if we zoom out, we're kind of in a, I can't really say a falling wedge. This is more like a descending triangle, to be honest with you. About 64% chance for this one to break to the upside. Interesting to get all this support right here, meaning that 49 needs to hold. If it doesn't hold, woo. But Aave is a good project on Ethereum, been around for a while, so I am looking at this at bottom territory. And back in November 2020, those are the levels that we're holding right now. So if we come and look on the smaller time frame, we can get more insight into Aave. And why I'm bullish on it right now is that we've got all the bullish signs here, especially with our moving averages. Now, it can definitely come back for a correction and probably will. Maybe the 65.80 or retest this 50 moving average on the 4 hour, and that's about 65. So maybe see 65, and that's a good place, I think, to nibble at it. And currently just making higher highs and higher lows, the way a bullish trend should do. And just trading in this nice channel right here lines up very well. So possibility also for 63.70 coming into play somewhere through here. It would probably take it a while to get down there, so and level out with this area right here about 64.30 actually. Just bouncing in this channel until something different happens, and hopefully if it gets a break to the upside, that would be what we really would like. So I think we looked at, if we look at this recently on one of the night streams, looking at this rounding top here, the scallop top, which comes back down and then shoots to the upside and confirms a bottom here. So I like that for Aave. Let's see if I can find one that's just really been decimated over the past 24 hours. Maybe there is something there to look at. Oh, we got some, here's some that are starting to pop off. Terra, these are just now going green, looks like. Again, anyway. Terra, or Taraxa, and this is against the ETH pair. It's finding support on the 200 moving average. That's looking nice, nice, nice. So reclaiming the 200, holding that is a good sign if we can maintain it. That's one to keep your eye on. It seems to me to be doing an accumulation, and it's got a rounding shape going on also. So interesting to watch that to see if that will hold, and then eventually this might get a nice little pop to the upside. But this is usually a good sign of accumulation right here. But she's pumping up 10% today, so nice. Even on the 1 hour, oh, it looks beautiful on the moving averages. DEX against ETH is also up today, 5%. This is a very noisy chart. I'm not one that I'm personally sold on, but it's looking good on the 4 hours. The moving averages speak a lot to it. I think this one also has a lot of tokens, or else we wouldn't see all this liquidity, or all this noisy noise. Noisy noise. How clever. Okay, we looked at Unibot, right? Okay, well, she's still doing good. She was what? She's up to $74 right now. I think we were looking at it with Ethereum. This is it against the dollar, or maybe I'm coming back to the same chart. Currently, are we breaking back into this pattern? I would count that as a fake out coming back into this pattern. Maybe seeing $66 out of Unibot if we come back down to here. Still a yummy place to buy that. And I'm not seeing anything jumping out on me. Here's A0. Zoom out just a little bit to the 4 hour. So a little bit of a funky falling wedge. I mean, trend line is valid. Broke out, broke back in, broke out. That's just kind of weird. Of course, it's probably not the best representation. I like my falling wedges where I can go from a top and train them all, look at them all the way down. This one doesn't kind of do this. This one does what we just saw with Taraxa, where it comes down and then starts rounding out a bit. Re-examine this one, and right here, the support that we need, and we are keeping that. Dipped a little bit below it, but now we're above it. That's at 83 cents, or at 80 cents basically. So A0 is trying to make a little bit of a turnaround, and on the 4 hour it has made strides. So 4 hours starting to look good. That may influence the daily for more upside for this little guy. Looks like $1 might be on the radar for A0, which is currently trading at 83 cents. That'd be a nice little 20% move up to the upside right there. Lovely. And that does come in line with a very important support and resistance flip area that we need. So we got confidence for that move as well. Likely to get rejected there and have to struggle through it. But 20% is 20%, right? All right, Satoshi Man, ready for a decent pump? No more fiat. Me too. 1112, welcome to the show, man. Please, what's the best digital currency for investment? Well, you can never go wrong with Bitcoin. All the others, I look at use case myself for one that I'm holding long term. I want something that's got a strong use case that will be in high demand. And there's several of them out there, but then there's many that have very weak use cases. I'm not big on governance tokens. I'm looking for more layer 1s, layer 2s possibly. Some gaming plays, but those are a little risky. I wouldn't say that would be your best, but it could be profitable short term. I think to answer your question, I would have to go with the tried and true Bitcoin. Because if you miss out on that, you need some in your portfolio. It will keep your portfolio level. Keep it from bouncing all over the place and making all those losses. And I know it sounds like a boomer coin. Don't go up. It ain't going to 20x. Oh, at least we don't think so. Like an altcoin, but one of these days, you're going to look back and you're going to say, damn, I really should have focused a little bit more on Bitcoin than what I did. Sergey says he wants more lunacy. And Jorge Satoshi says Solana is looking strong again. Solana was, yeah, I know, it's been a little bit surprising. I was actually in a long on Solana. From 21 to 24, so that I caught this, and that was nice. Because I think I was on like 20x leverage, which is high for altcoins. It is. I'm getting ready to change my leverage play around strategy here and start playing with a little bit less leverage on that. Just trying to get used to some of these new exchanges and how they kind of operate. And every platform's a little bit different. You know, you can do something on one that you can't do on another, or you know, use a technique here that you can't really pull off on another. So I like what I see for Solana, and we got that. We need to take a new Fibonacci here from this swing high down to the swing low. I'm gonna have to be more generous. I'm gonna have to quit being so stingy on my bargain areas, because lately they've just been wicking to the top of them and not going into the juicy buy areas that I kind of give out. But the reason that I do that is just in anticipation of the bearishness of our market, you know? but suddenly things went a little bit more bullish, and she didn't really go into these deeper levels. But she did hit our number. She did hit our number. Skimmed it. So I may have to be a little bit more generous on that. Make some accommodation for that when I put out my setups. I'll just have to spell it out what I'm doing a little bit more clearly. 618-2644, definitely in the cards for this. And maybe 2896, that would be sweet. If we go up to, I mean, all these Fibonacci's here from the 786 to 886, it can do that. Will it? I mean, it has to be more of a stronger move for it to get there at $30, but it could. But more than likely, a little pullback at 26 and then try to work our ways up to some of those areas. So I like what I'm seeing on Solana. Well, let's just go to the measure move instead of guesstimating, but I do want to put this one up here because this one does play out. 36.26, don't know when it'll play out, but it'll hit. Or thereabouts. Treat it as a zone, not to the penny. Let's just say 36. We're heading that way. So we could look at this way. This is like a moonshot measure move, in my personal opinion, which does give us confluence for where? About $35, $36. So that's a sign that over time, this area will hit. So for your longer term plays on this, that's what I would go for. Shorter term plays, I would look for $26 or $28, $29. There's also this measure move here, which wants to get us up to where? About $26. So we got confluence with our measure moves, with our Fibonacci's, saying that those two areas, 26 and 36, good places to look at taking profit, and then maybe waiting for a pullback to enter in, build that bag, baby. Strega says Caspa. Can't believe I hadn't already hit that one already. I like Caspa. I want more Caspa. Trying to figure out a way to get more Caspa without paying through the nose for it. See if this is the same one I've got in my video. Same scenario I've been looking at ever since I put my video out, and it's been a little while. I mean, we are in a bearish pattern, a rising wedge. 68 technically % chance that it will break to the downside. And what I stressed in my video was the possibility of us going parabolic. I think Caspa could do that. I think it can. I think that's still on the table, but we won't see until it actually gets above like 55. I will say 58 cents sounds expensive, but once we get there, that's probably when this thing is going to just shoot off to around 80 cents or something. 92 cents is the move I got. But there is also the possibility that this pattern that it's in will play out. It's bearish. It normally does break to the downside. It's just been really testing these top levels here, getting into my short zone. And if anyone's paid attention, I didn't do that. I mean, I've shorted some of it, but I haven't just played this out perfectly. I'm still not in those shorts now at all. But shorting here at 51, and it came back up at 53, or 5.3 rather, 5.1, 5.3. And now we're up in the short zone too. Now you could, but I mean, shorting is risky, but it gives you, if the closer you are to this top trend line, the tighter your stop loss can be, and you reduce your risk. So if you're trying to short this, I would look at these areas and try to keep a tight stop loss. Because if it's going to go down, it's going to go down. But if she goes up, she's going to go up mega lots. So just to spell this out again, let me get to a bigger time frame. So nothing's changed with my analysis from my video weeks ago, and I said in that video, I said this is going to last for a long time. This video will be valid for a while. We break to the upside of this, it may or may not retest. A lot of time they don't. They'll just shoot up, go parabolic. That's what we're looking at. That's what happens in that scenario. And that's why in my video I said a trigger order would be the safest way to play it at about 58 cents. Put that order in, and then when price hits it, it'll market order, and then you're in for the ride. You can do the same thing for a short, because if it breaks this trend line, we're coming down. Or you can try to short here with a tight stop loss. If you're going to try to long this, I would shoot for the bottom of the pattern, which is about 4.1 cents, which I think is a good juicy price to get in anyway. This is one that I think could do some big things, and it's been very strong. So I'm still looking and hoping actually for that parabolic move, even though I want it to come down here so I can get it for some juicier prices. If it does get down here, 2 cents, 3 cents, oh, I'm definitely selling some other stuff and moving more into a heavier bag of this one. Definitely. Drago says, yeah, I'm still kicking myself for some of these. Me too. I'm still kicking myself over Teller TRB for me selling out at $22 at the highest. I think I sold most of it at 19. I let my bias get to me, and that can happen at this point in the market. We especially if we have a bad interaction with the coin, maybe we get in on it and it goes to the downside, and then it goes to the profit. We're like, let's get the hell out of this, and then it's not always the best move. So I'm trying to keep a closer eye on what's going on in my head, and you got to do that. You've always got to be, when it comes to crypto, whether you're trading, especially if you're trading, but even if you're investing, try to keep your head straight. Right? Try to keep your head straight. Try to recognize when you feel FOMO, like you're going to miss out on something, whether that's getting in or getting out. Because your emotions will mislead you. They will definitely but your emotions will trick you to think it's logic. You think it's logical. You think it's the best decision based on your emotions. They will trick you. And that's why you got to be data. Look at the charts. And try not to let your biases get in the way with what the charts are telling you. So the charts here, I mean, it tells me this one should go down. This Caspa should go down. But we do know with this particular pattern what it can do. So keep your eyes on that. But I'm not going to try to go crazy thinking I know what it's going to do either way. And some people are, I mean, if you say you're going to short Caspa, some people, oh my God, are you stupid? And, at some point, it's going to be shortable. Can't blame people for doing that. Or selling. But man, she's a strong one. And I would love to get these juicy prices. Get the Wolfman Jack voice. Welcome to WXLM in Sunnyside, California. My name is Wolfman Jack. Today we're taking a look at the top 40. Sugar says, but I got my eyes open. Yeah. Gotta keep those eyes open. Hey, MD. Welcome to the stream, man. So, one last call for anything that you guys want to take a look at, because I'm getting ready to jump off this thing. I need to be making videos on these coins, but honestly, I'm not seeing anything that's jumping out at me. If I were to do it, it would be over something long-term investments. If you guys got something you want me to make an actual video off of, so suggestions, leave it in the comments below on the live stream, so that would be cool. Otherwise, I'll be going over the ones that I talk about a lot. I am just not seeing. I was hoping we would have a little bit better day out of altcoins, but I'm not seeing a big pump up of anything. Check our watch list real quick. The hot coins up for the year, see how they're doing. STX is one that I want to look at right there. Almost forgot about you, STX. Stacks. I like this one. I don't know how it'll do, but a Bitcoin layer 2 kind of solution, I like it. Looks like we will go with Coinbase on that. Zoom out to the weekly here. So Stackalaxy. She was up to $1.32. That was in March of this year. Yummy, yummy. Little area at $1, this kind of psychological resistance there. She got down to 23 cents before she jumped up back up to $1. Yummy, yummy. Currently, it's been retesting the support resistance area. It looks like we might have flipped it. Might have. At least trying to flip it. At 52 cents, because this guy's been down to about 42, trading between about 46 for a long time. Now, looking at this area, we know the inverted head and shoulders do make very lovely reversal patterns. And there's a bit of one. It still actually falls within this trend line. So, I mean, that's the bigger pattern that you should go by anyway. But you can see a shoulder, a head, and a higher shoulder right there, or equal to it. Just not a good solid neckline. That's why I'm not going with that one. Just not seeing a solid neckline there. So, unless you're looking at that, and then you get the same results that you get from, you know, this. So, I'm looking at this as more of a breakout of a falling channel. 64% chance that that does happen. About the same percentage for a inverted head and shoulders. So we're good either way. We just got to get above this area right here at 53, right under 54 cents. And then we got to tackle 58, 57, 58 cents. We got work cut out for us on this one. The biggest area that we got to get over is about 67 cents. Flip this area back into support. Then we could be cooking. But a struggle going on right there with stacks, but take a little measure move, suggest that we can get up to about 62 cents. Would love to see that happen. Let's change that guy to blue. So that's what I got for stacks. I think we're headed to the upside. Well, we have been. From the breakout to there's 28% gain from where we are now to that target at about 62 cents, about 18% move. Michael Kalani, hey, welcome to the stream. And check out Teller. Yeah, I have not looked at that one. In my opinion, I think Teller has got a very, very good chance of continuing its parabola. I don't know what it is about this one. There were some big whales who were buying it, so I'm not trusting this. It's kind of highly concentrated right now, and they can manipulate it, and that's, you know, why else would they want to get all that much Teller? But very, very impressive. If we're going parabolic, I'm looking for 5 steps, and it looks like we may have. And it depends on how you want to count them. I would 2. Give me just a moment to. So we got this guy going on. Now, I will warn you that as soon as I draw this on here, if you watch my channel, I joke about it being a curse because as soon as I start talking about it, it usually stops doing its parabolic move. It's got a chance to continue up parabolic. And what that means is that your trend line just start gradually going to the upside. So that they gradually start fanning out. Good sign. Now, normally there's 5 steps on this, and depending on how you want to look at it, this could be step 1, step 2, step 3, maybe. Some might see this as step 1 and step 2, just looking at the bigger ones. I'm inclined to count this because we flipped it from support to resistance. So I'm looking at that being a step 1, this being a 2, this being a 3. Now, in the bear market, a lot of times 3 humps is about all you're going to get out of them. My targets for a bump up would be $83. Possibly up to right around 89 to 92. 127 counted there. Not really sold on that. So we got some confluence here with our Fibonacci extension tool. Also, we can look at this as being a rising, widening, broadening pattern, which are typically bearish and break to the downside. Just want to throw that out there. We see this trend line break. It's probably time to get out or take a break from it. There's some bearish divergence that's been playing, but you'll see that when we get a parabolic move. So it kind of, it doesn't negate, but it takes it a while to catch up with it. And eventually it will. But I'm looking for another move up to possibly $82, $83 if we can get that one more move. And check out and see Elliott Wave. Elliott Wave suggests that we've already had our 5th wave and that we're coming back to a correction, which could wreck this parabola. So let's keep that in mind. It's suggesting coming back to about 38 cents or $38. Ooh, that would be a big old drop from this. So keep that in mind. That actually does make sense with the Elliott Wave. Doesn't mean it's going to play out this way. Elliott Wave, in my opinion, is subjective and is not my main strategy. Personally, I am looking for some more upside. Let me look at the indicators really quickly just to confirm anything. Bearish divergence wanted to come down. Yeah, we know about that. Also, a little bit of is weak, but a little bit of bullish, hidden bullish divergence forming there on the underside on the larger time frame, which would be what we need for an uplift in a parabolic move. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for us to come back down here and possibly get a move to the upside. Now, if it doesn't happen, if we start breaking this line, then, you know, this is end of the run. But she looks like she wants to get at least one more step in there. So that's my take on it. If it doesn't come up to 83, well, then we're headed back to about 24, and probably don't want to go see that, 24 or 36. I think she's got more upside, personally. She's been tricky to trade, though. This was fun. The sideways chop has been horrible. MD, is Elliott Wave same as fractals? No, they're different. Fractals are cool too. Fractals is, we got a little tool over here called bars. Let me find it. Right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 icons down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 down. It says bars pattern. And that's how you take a fractal. So if you see something interesting, we use fractals to see if a pattern can repeat, which a lot of times they'll do something very similar, right? And give us an idea. So we take a bars pattern, say for instance, draw it there, make a copy of it, and that's a fractal. So if we were to say, we expect this to happen, it could. They don't always. Well, they rarely play out, but sometimes they do. Sometimes price will come down and mimic some things, so that's what we use with fractals. But Elliott Wave is just based on the premise that each pump has usually has 5 waves, or a easier way to understand is that you might see 3 humps on every move when you break them down. And, you know, sometimes they're right and are on point, and sometimes it's really subjective and 2 people don't see the same thing. So the theory is that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves up, and then a 3 count correction, an A, B, C correction, and then you go either up or down from there. It can be a little confusing and very subjective, but a lot of things are. Some people really like it. They use Fibonacci levels a lot. to reach their targets. My beef is, or I guess my bias against it is, when it comes to pattern trading, I got all my information right. If I get a good chart where I can do some of this and show some of this. I need a small time frame to do this. So when it comes to pattern trading, to me, I like it because it can give me targets just based on measured moves and things like that. With Elliott Wave, you're just, if I'm watching someone demonstrate Elliott Wave, I never get an idea where they're saying, is this a good entry? Is that a good entry? It's just always, well, it could go here, it could go here, it could go here. And I'm like, well, that doesn't help me know when to get into this or not. But a pattern, I know that I can get the breakout or I can buy the bottom of the trend. If I see a breakout to the downside, I can know where I can set a tight stop. So if I were playing this one to the upside, because this pattern has a good chance to go to the upside, it didn't. So I know I can put my stops under here and be cool. I know that if it comes down, it's likely to do a retest of that line before it ends down further, which it did. So I can take a measured move, which it hit. That's why I like pattern trading, because it gives me targets. Whereas Elliott Wave, they're just kind of subjective and like, I don't know, here go here. And same thing with the harmonic patterns that you see, the bearish bats and all that stuff. They look cool, look beautiful. You know, the cipher patterns, you see the guys, and they're supposed to be really accurate, but you see these little things drawn out. We got a Gartley, but what I see happening, well, we're just following all this price that I could be doing anyway, trading it all the while with patterns. And then, price finally gets up here, and then we got to wait. Was it going to find out that this is going to be bearish? We've been watching it here to find out that we're going to go bearish from here or something crazy. And then sometimes that doesn't even play out. It's just, a lot of people, I'm not knocking it. If it works for people, that's great. But for me, I just find pattern trading and using my indicators being far superior. I think the only thing that really enticed me right now is Gann price and time squaring, and that's complicated, but at least there you got something looking for at a certain time period to know when to do something. But see, you can have some type 2 return, what they call it, where it just does something different, and then makes them. It's not concrete enough for me to be happy to trade. It seems like a lot of people spend time watching, waiting, rather than being able to participate when they use those strategies. Or maybe I'm looking at it wrong. There's my take. All right, guys, I'm going to call it even. I appreciate you for being here. If you can, pay attention.
Out there and hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
was part your life. Basic bullets with no bullets. Does your wifey know you're begging for my notice?